Hello guys and welcome to my channel. My name is Jesper and today we are going to talk about sunscreen. We are going to talk about a sunscreen from this new brand, the Inkey List, and it looks like this. So as you can maybe see, it is an mineral sunscreen, and we will have a look at that one because we all know that mineral sunscreens, they are a little bit difficult when it comes to the color, and some of them are nano and some of them are not nano, and so on, and some of them have zinc oxide and some of them have titanium dioxide and some of them have both. So this one here from the Inkey List, it looks like this. It only has zinc oxide in it, and it has 22% zinc oxide, and normally you would say that a good one should have about between 20 and 25% of zinc oxide, and this one apparently has 22, so that is relatively good. So this is, as you can maybe see down here, it is an SPF of 30. So this time this is not an SPF of 50. But when you are using zinc oxide, then you only need zinc oxide in your sunscreen, because it will protect you both from UVB and UVA. So that is one of the few filters that, this is not a filter, it's more like a screen that will protect you from both UVA and UVB, where some of the other ones, they are good at UVB and some of them are better at UVA and some of them are overlapping a little bit. But here you only need the zinc oxide. So what is interesting about this one here? Well, the most interesting thing about it, and which I think is what people are talking about the most, is that it has a color, but it's not tinted. So what they have done is that they have used an ingredient called caramel, and caramel is a colorant, and that will give a sort of see-through color, whereas some of the other sunscreens that you might have seen, which are tinted sunscreens, they usually are using iron oxide, so a black and a yellow and a red iron oxide, and that they mix in order to create various colors. So this one here is different for that reason. So how is the color? Well, if you just take it out, you might be a bit like, that is dark, but I would say obviously you need to smear it out so that it will not give you this sort of a color all over your face as such. I think that some people that are using this product here will put it on in a way that they don't rub it in, and here this kind of like, it doesn't collect in your wrinkles and fine lines and stuff like that in the same way as a normal mineral sunscreen does, and it is apparently due to this caramel color that they have put on. So how much should I use for my entire face? Well, this is too little for my entire face, so I have taken a spoon, and we need a half a teaspoon. So as you can see, this is not enough that I just took that, so we need half a teaspoon. So that will be like this, just add a bit like that, so like this, and rather too much than too little when it comes to sun protection. So here you obviously don't have all the issues with chemical sun filters. So here you have something that will not go into your bloodstream and so on. So that is a good thing, but it might be very well all of this stuff here, but if you are not happy with the color, well, it doesn't really matter how good else it is, because you can't really use it. I would say my skin is, as you can see, is pretty fair, but when I used it yesterday and I've used it today, and I took a picture of it, so you can see how it looks in daylight. So in that picture you can see that on one side I have it on, and on the other side I don't have it on, and that picture will come here. So if we go on and see how does it actually spread on the skin, we will have we can talk a little bit about what is in this product here, because that is something to do with how it spreads on the skin. Because there is a shea butter in this product here, and that is supposed to keep in moisture and moisture the skin and so on. But also it makes it a little bit greasy. So I would say if you just put it on, I just put it on one side, so you can see the difference. So I just put it in two. So I took half of it off, and then we have this stuff here and put it on this side here. I will say that I feel it spreads very nicely. And to begin with, yes, you can obviously see there is a different color on my skin. But I would say as the product starts to sink in to your skin, then the color starts to be much easier to distribute over the skin. And some of these sunscreens here, they start to be a little bit difficult to distribute on the skin, because they have various sort of stuff in it that will kind of like make a film on your skin. And this one here doesn't do that, so it's more like a normal cream. And that means that you can actually continue to rub and rub and rub it in. And that is, I am pretty sure, due to the content of the shea butter, because that will at the same time leave a sort of greasy sort of feel. Your skin will look mostly a bit matte afterwards. There is a silica in the product as well, which will take up excessive oils. But it's not a matte finish in the sense that it also feels dry to the touch, because this shea butter here, that will continue to be workable during the day. I don't feel that it slip and slide, but it will be workable. So what I did today in order to show it for you now was that I did not put as much moisturizer on that I normally do, because I knew that this product here is very moisturizing because of the shea butter. So for that, if you're using this, you might go a little bit lower on your normal moisturizer. So that you might be happy with, or that you might not be too happy with, because if your moisturizer is something that is very expensive because it has some very fantastic ingredients in it, obviously you don't want to go half on that because then you simply don't get all those benefits of the cream. So that is a little bit to consider there. But the cream I use is just an oil-based cream. I use the one from Inkey, as I have said before, the lait crème fluide. So that is basically just to keep in moisture. So now you can see that this starts to still have a sort of a color, but compared to when we started, if this did not have this caramel tint to it, then you would completely see that I would be very white on this side here. You can just, if you can see the difference, I don't have it on here and I have it on here. But actually what I put on was a quarter of a teaspoon, and that is also for the neck. So basically I have a little bit too much on my face, because this stuff here needs to go down my neck as well. So if you look at the web page for in the UK for the Dermatologist Association, then I will put a link to it below. Then they will say that it is about half a teaspoon for your ears, your face, and the neck. So obviously now I have a little bit too much on, but in order to kind of like prove a point, then I would say that even for my skin color here, this is not that much off my skin color, and particularly if it was in the summertime. Now we are in the winter time, well, at least on this side of the globe, but in the summertime this would fit in much better. But it does give a sort of makeup-y feel to the skin, and that is because of the zinc oxide. It kind of like fills up the pores, so it's kind of like you get this sort of look that is your skin doesn't look like skin anymore. It kind of like have a sort of a different, the shades will fall differently on your skin that if you did not have makeup on. And this sort of gives the same feel as if you had some sort of very light foundation on. But I wouldn't say that it won't give you a sort of a drag look if that's what you would be afraid of. But it just changed the way I would say that the shades are falling on your face and the way light bounces off it. And now, as if it was some other cream, then usually I would not be able to continue to smear it out, because usually, as I said, sunscreens, they will start to form sort of a film. But this one more like sinks more and more into the skin, but leaves this sort of greasy sort of feel. I don't think it's an overwhelmingly greasy feel. And as you have seen, I have not put it on my eyelids, because normally when you're putting a sunscreen on that has titanium dioxide or zinc oxide in it, and you can use it around your eyes, then I show you that, and then you will see that it will go into the lines very quickly. So I actually did this the other day on the eyelids, and I checked it out and see if something happened, but it didn't collect there, so for that it was really good. But the thing is that the Inkey List, they say don't put it around your eyes, and therefore it serves no point that I show you how to put it on your eyelids, because that is something you should not do with this product here. So I can start to smear this out here, and I will say when I look in the mirror, I could use a little bit more time in order to really distribute it a little bit more well. But as I said, the stuff I put on should go on my neck as well. So for that reason, I might have a little bit too much on this side. So it just shows that even when I put a little bit too much on, I would say that still the color is not that problematic. Because the thing is, yes, I can have a chemical sunscreen instead, and then there won't be any sort of a cast on my skin. But if I don't want those filters on my skin, but I'd rather have this screen on instead, which is the zinc oxide screen, then I have the choice of taking something that is very white, or I have the choice of taking this one here, which has this sort of golden-ish, or rather say caramel-like color, because it is simply caramel that is in here. How will this perform on darker skin? I think that if you put it on a really dark skin, I think you would be able to see this stuff. I'm pretty sure. I think this is something I can use without a problem. If it's summertime, I can get away with it in the winter time. But I think if you have this sort of, it's not, I would say, my friends, Korean friends, I would say it would be really suitable for them in the summertime. I would think that that color would really blend in very nicely. For me, as I say, I can get away with it, but yes, I can see I do have a bit of a color. And now, when we are in artificial light in here, it maybe is a little bit more pronounced, but when I took a photo of myself, as you just saw in the sunlight, so natural light, then I would say you would not be able to see it. Actually, I put it on my entire face this morning, and then I asked my husband if he could see it, and he was like, yeah, it looks really like brown, and kind of like your eyes, your ears are white, and so on. And I said, okay, well, I take half of it off. So I took everything off from one side, and that is the photo that you see. And then I showed him it again, and I asked him if he could see any difference between those two sides. And he was like, no, he could not see any sort of a difference. Okay, so then it is just because there is naturally a difference between my ears and my skin tone. So he could not see it. So the thing is, when you're looking in the mirror yourself, you might see things that other people will not notice. So would it be nice for someone like me if they added a little bit less caramel color? Yes, it would be perfect for me if they added less caramel color, and for some it would be better if they added more. But this product here, if you look up on the Inkey List, you will find that you can get this product here in England. Just clean it off here. You can get it in England, but you cannot get it in America, and you cannot get it in Canada or in the rest of the EU. And I asked them why that was, and they said this is because this was just tried in the UK. So maybe they will start to make it available in America and other places, and maybe they will make various versions, so they have more colors to choose from. But as such, I will say that using the caramel color I think works a little bit better than using iron oxides, because they give the same sort of problem as zinc oxide in itself does, that it is something that is simply staying, it's a physical thing that is on your skin, where when you have the caramel color, then it is more something that is see-through. So that I would say gives it's a better way of coloring a sunscreen. So yes, I look forward to see if they are making more variations of this one here. Maybe they will make one that is for SPF of 50, but so far it is only SPF of 30. But I would say I normally just use an SPF of 30. If I go to the beach, I will bring an SPF of 50, but most likely I will just use the one of SPF 30 that I would also bring. But yeah, my point is that for daily use, at least here in England, I would say that an SPF of 30 is enough. So yes, this was the latest thing here from the Inkey List and their SPF of 30. I did buy something else when I were in and look for this stuff, and that is this one here, the lactic acid one. And I bought that one because I use lactic acid on my face, as you might know. I mix it myself, but in order to find something that could be useful for those that are not willing to do that, then I thought, well, I will test this one out here for you. So if you would like to see more videos, and in particular if you would like to see the video on this one here, then please subscribe, hit the bell, and do all the things you must do in order to be notified when I upload more of this sort of videos. Thank you for watching. See you. Bye.